thing that really got me started on this is I was handed a lead of an existing home, existing residence that this company had done work for in the past, and you've got a new owner, and he wanted an upgraded theater. And I love this story because I went in with, I met him 1 week, and then I made an appointment to show him his theater the next week, and I laid down the proposal on his desk, and he's a big, high-powered executive. And he did what everyone else does. He just went right to the bottom line, didn't look at anything else, and said, well, how come yours is more money than these other two? And there were two other competitors sitting on the table's proposal at that point right there. And I just said, well, let's take a look at it over here. And I whipped out the drawing that I had done on my 11 by 17 printer at that time. And he grabbed it out of my hands. He started asking me questions about it. Then he called his wife on the intercom and said, "Hun, come in and look at our new theater." Wrote me a check for $50,000 on the spot. I still have it right there. That's like right then and there I realized that I need to be in the software business, not in the installation business.
Well, thinking back, I recall in probably the mid-90s, in the early days of engineered environments, I met Adam at a Sonance training down in Orange County. And then it was probably a few years went by, 2 or 3 years went by, and I recall being at Adam's house. I met his wife. We sat outside on the patio and enjoyed a beer. And he was telling me about his new project that he's been working on, which was a software project, and showing me some things and trying to gauge my interest level. And I guess I was pretty impressed with what he showed me, or he was a good salesperson, because it wasn't long after that we made an investment in D-Tools.
And I spent the next year building it, and it just got better and better and better. And at one point, we ended up at CEDIA in 1998, and barely ended up at CEDIA in 1998, and it was a hit.
I met Adam, that must have been at CEDIA in 1998. I met him then. I went back into my archives and found that very first story that I wrote about Digitools, or that anyone wrote about Digitools after CEDIA in 1998. So that's when I met him. And of course, I'd only been in the industry for 4 years, so I didn't understand anything.
When we reconnected a few years ago, Adam informed me that we were his second customer, which I didn't know at the time. I probably wouldn't have taken the risk.
And he explained his product. It looked interesting enough to me. I started the article saying something like, well, it's about time someone came out with a business-related software program based on Visio. Everyone uses it. Of course, I'd never heard of Visio before.
And I remember it was May 16, because I still have the email. Saturday night, I was maybe a little bit drunk. I was drinking scotch, and I realized I needed to get Visio involved, and Visio was my main platform at the time. And I emailed the president of Visio, and back then you could kind of break the email code, and there wasn't spam, really wasn't a thing, and it was a first initial last name. So I sent first initial last name an email, really tight. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want. This is why it's good for Visio. On Monday, I got a response back, which was amazing enough. And he says, well, it sounds like you're onto something. We get 1,000 requests like this a month, but I'm going to introduce you to my VP of sales, or marketing and sales. And on Tuesday, I got a call. It's like one of those things you're just waiting for the phone to ring, Just have my phone just staring at it. Hopefully it's going to ring. Hopefully it's going to ring. Tuesday it rings. The guy calls me up, introduces himself. We chat for a little bit, and I talked him into sponsoring CEDIA.
In our industry, we're very graphically, visually inclined, and there really was nothing out there that had that kind of visual process. And, even to this day, really, the concept of drawing a speaker on a blueprint and then having all the data associated with that speaker just pop up on the screen and be integrated with all your other business processes was novel then, and really still novel today.
When did I meet Adam? I met Adam at a CEDIA show. We developed a product together, Rack Tools, way back in the day, a design tool, and have known him for a long time. It's been a great association.
For the first time, Adam Stone. And Adam came up to visit us up in Seattle probably about 20 years ago and said, hey, I have this proposal software that will allow the installers and the dealers to present presentations to their clients much easier, much clearer, and at the same time kind of speed up the back office process, which I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting opportunity. And lo and behold, as dealers started to experience it and spend some time with it, the efficiency of it and how it helped their business was really, really unique. So the guys from D-Tools certainly were one of the cutting edge people on that side of the channel.
We used D-Tools at Engineered Environments extensively for everything we did for many years, and the return on investment was off the charts. I mean, I think it took us to a whole new level in terms of the quality of our proposals, the quality of our drawings. We won multiple CEDIA Best Documentation Awards using D-Tools, and I attribute D-Tools 100% to those awards. I'll even tell you a funny story about the degree of documentation that we did at Engineered Environments. I was sitting around one night after work having a beer with a couple of home builders that we worked with, and one of them made a reference to our nickname, and I didn't know we had a nickname. So I asked him, well, what's our nickname? And he said, it's Over-Engineered Environments.
My early days of D-Tools, it really started as a buyer. I was a customer of D-Tools first. I bought 2.0 back in the day because I was like so many other integrators out there, I couldn't see the project done before I had to install it. And that was a huge thing for me. When I finally got D-Tools, got my data loaded in, and got my packages put together, I'll never forget my first project being done in front of me on plans, on my proposal, with all my reports, and I hadn't even started the project yet. And that was a big warm fuzzy. That was my first experience with D-Tools. After that, it was just a constant conversation with, on the phone, getting support, to the point where I eventually approached D-Tools and said, hey, you guys need to hire me. I can sell this thing. Because I believed in it,
The early days, I started about 14 years ago with the company, and I started in tech support. I believe I was the 12th person in D-Tools at that time, and we had just opened the Atlanta office. And we had our sales team out there. I was the first tech support out in the Atlanta office. And I saw a lot of room for improvement in the company right away. Documentation, bug reporting. So I took the initiative to rewrite the user guides back then. And then eventually that became a job. I found that if you wanted to make your path here at D-Tools, you could at any point in time. Just if you put the initiative in and the time and effort, and if you had to work extra overtime to do that, you do it.
My primary role at the company is to, Adam likes to say that I am the adult supervision. So I am conservative by nature because I do finance, and I try to keep things in line, make sure that we're on budget. The thing that's really great about working at D-Tools is all of us at the executive level have been here for a very long time, and we all know each other very well, we work well together, and we're friends.
I really think it was about timing. I came on board right at the time that the company was really ready to take that next step in terms of positioning, in terms of messaging, the look of the website, their branding, and it really fit the skills that I felt that I could bring to the table.
Well, when I first started here, D-Tools was still a small company, and it had a small company culture. I remember that Tim and I both started right about the same time. We were both the two new guys in the office. And I think we both recognized very quickly that there was an opportunity here to create a new culture, one that was oriented around growing the business and continuing its success, and that we were going to play an important role in that. That was actually very exciting. To be able to participate in. My initial focus when I first started as CTO was to really make sure that the product that we were building could continue to deliver on the opportunity that the business had. And that meant making sure that it grew both as a product in its capabilities for our customers so that more and more of their business process and needs were covered and handled, but also as a technology that it scaled to meet them as a growing organization as well.
We knew we had markets beyond residential AV, so we started to focus on how we could help companies in other markets, such as commercial AV, security, IT, and really looking at what the needs of those particular integration companies had and how we could add features to the solution to meet those needs.
You know, the people you start the company with aren't the people who should run the company. So what I did is, as people kind of started leaving, there was a certain amount of churn, I started hiring pros. And that's really when the company started to take off into the next level right there. And instead of hiring friends, I'm hiring pros. And that's what happened with Randy too. I had an opportunity to talk to Randy about this. And in my mind, there's really not a better pro for this industry. So it was really fortunate, I think, that we were able to work out, you know, the kind of deal we have now.
And Adam approached me asking if I might be interested in getting involved with D-Tools to help take it to the next level. I was flattered, of course, and wanted to explore that further. So I talked to him more, and I talked to members of the executive team, and I started to wonder where I could add value, because, truth be told, things were in pretty good shape. I was fortunate enough to join the executive team for a strategic planning session and began to understand where I might be able to add value, and frankly, just fell in love with the vision.
What excites me most about the release of our new cloud offering is the opportunity to take 20 years of learning and building tools that help our customers and be able to really take advantage of all of the capabilities that the cloud affords.
The most exciting thing about the move to our cloud is the availability of AI and machine learning technologies and how we can use them to further innovate on the solutions we offer to the market. These technologies give us a fascinating opportunity to think about how business automation and business efficiency and intelligent work can be delivered as part of our overall software solution, and continuing in the evolution of the product that we started with.
We've got a web-enabled drawing on the cloud, which is something that very few companies are doing. We're gonna integrate that. You know, just having all your data in one place is really exciting. Some of the partnerships we're working on are really exciting now. And I've always said, I think the value of the company is not the software sale as much as the communication ability that we can cross channels. We can cross from the manufacturer to the deal, and we can all share information. Once we're all talking the same things, you can order through our software. Manufacturers can look into that and see what products will be needed when and where. I think that's really valuable info, and that's what really gets me excited more than anything else right there.
We've been developing our cloud solution for a number of years now, and what's held us back is the fact that the drawing solutions that we're closely connected with in AutoCAD and Visio are not yet on the cloud. So we had to solve that problem and figure out how we could get to the cloud without them, because they're not there yet. And so that was a constraint. And so we've solved that problem now, and we can move to the cloud and be the be-all, end-all product that, you know, we want to be and our customers want us to be. And while it's going to be a couple year rollout to get to full functionality of that platform, I'll be the first to say I can't imagine us running into any resistance from a competitive standpoint as this product rolls out, and integrators see the value that it brings to them. It's very well conceived and very well built on all the latest development tools and technologies, and I don't think there's anything stopping us at this point.
You know, I'm really proud of the company. I think it's amazing what it's done, and what it's done with little resources over the years, really out of profit. I'm proud of the legacy that we've built.
D-Tools has had a very strong product that's done well in the marketplace. But the future is the cloud.